Okay, I'll declare regular meeting September 18th, 2023 is in order. I asked if you got cell phones to please mute them. And if you got a ball cap on, Commissioner Burton Glover's not with us this group anymore, but he was big on y'all taking them caps off in this courtroom. So thank y'all for that. Hey, commissioners, we're gonna change a little bit. If you will, do your roll call now. Okay, I got 20 present and 4 absent. I declare we do have a quorum. Thank you. This time I'm going to ask Commissioner Martin to come up and do our invocation, followed by the pledge to the flag. Will you please stand?
Please bow your heads with me. Our dear Lord, we approach your throne with so much thankfulness for the blessings that you give us each and every day in our lives. We ask for your special anointing for those families who have sickness or have lost loved ones, and for a special awareness of your love in their lives. And most importantly, would you please help all of us to see our friends and our loved ones in the world through the eyes of Jesus. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Martin. Commissioners, in your package is the minutes from the last month meeting. Need a motion. Got someone want to speak? Commissioner Moore?
I just want to ask for prayers for Commissioner Wilson.
That's gonna bring it up. Had back surgery today.
No, he had it Tuesday, but he came home on Saturday. He's doing pretty well healing and recovering, so just keep him in your prayers. And Brenda, his wife.
Yeah, especially Brenda. Thank you, Commissioner Moore. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Package meetings, I've got a motion by Roberts. A second by Ed Heber. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Minutes are filed. Thank you. Okay, communications. I'd like to start with, it's an honor to have Representative Kumar here with Linda. And he's got a guest. He's got Nathan Garrett. He's the president of TCAT. He's got an announcement he'd like to make. Come on up. Bring your guest with you. Yeah. He's not really a guest. He's been to my office.
I have to say, if they look like Mutt and Jeff.
Oh, they don't. That's not on the record.
Thinking more like 20.
Thank you. I come here with confidence. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Madam Clerk, staff, our honorable county commissioners, and honored guests. It's my pleasure to report to you on the progress of TCAT. And that's the reason with me is Mr. Nathan Garrett. He's president of the TCAT, which is Tennessee College of Applied Technology in Nashville. We are a branch of TCAT Nashville, and Nathan is very important to us for helping us improve our facility. If you look at our facility, which I have over the last couple of years, it needs improvement. Although with small grants mean just $1 million each, some improvements have been made and Nathan has added to it greatly. However, we need to do better. TCATs are important. They teach valuable trade to our students who are not college bound. They can get a good job if they can stay even in the same community, serve well, put a good life's work in, and raise a family. And by the time, having worked all these years in a well-paying trade and a good job, by the time they have grandchildren, they will have a swimming pool in their backyard. That is the goal. That is the good life and the American dream that we aim for. And if we, the commissioners, the staff, and mayor, and the state can play a role together, then we are doing the right thing. It started about 1.5, 2 years ago, when I learned that we were a branch of the Nashville TCAT, and I felt we needed a better TCAT. So I went to visit Mr. Nathan Garrett. And it was a great visit. He introduced me to about 6 or 8 students who were from Robertson County and were going all the way there to learn various trades. And we started working on it. There are a lot of steps at the state level to go through. So the next thing was, a few months later, a meeting with the chancellor of TBR, which is Tennessee Board of Regents, which is the organization that runs the TCAT entities. And so Nathan came, and the chancellor, Ms. Flora Tidings, came along with her other staff, and I made my pitch, and they were very complimentary and very helpful. They want us to have better facilities, and they promised me that all this will be good, and they will help us. They will make a plan what our needs are and try to plan to provide those facilities. Which, sitting in Nashville, you have to be careful. And my response was, well, that's very, very nice. Can you put it in a letter? But it really has come to pass. Chancellor Tidings has been very good and gracious and true to her word, and so has Nathan. They have really been helpful that way. At this time, so a proposal for the size of the TBR in the $20 million range was made. Plans are made. It has passed through TBR, which is Tennessee Board of Regents. And then it has passed through THAC, which is Tennessee Higher Education Commission. So those two major commissions have passed the plans, and the plans are there. So the only next thing is funding. We are hoping that funding will be in the governor's budget as it arrives towards March or April this coming year. March, the governor's budget arrives. We are 90% confident that it'll be there. If it is not there, then we will work with the legislature and our colleagues to put it in there. And I think we have a support from Mr. Garrett as well as from the department itself, the Tennessee Board of Regents and so on. So I expect to have it done. The purpose of my report to you is to say, let's prepare for it. Let's expect that to happen, and I very, very much expect it to happen, and plan on finding the site for it, providing ground, and that would also give us a way that I can convey to the legislature that we already have land available to place this facility. And we can also plan where we want to put it. So kindly keep this in mind. It's not a done deal. It's almost there, and we are going to get it done. And it will be good for our community. And it'll be a great new facility at Springfield, Tennessee, College of Applied Technology. I'd like Nathan to say a few words. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, all. I want to say a big thanks to Representative Kumar. He's been the top leader in terms of technical education in Robertson County, and really do appreciate his vision and his work ethic in terms of looking towards the future and expanding what TCAT can do in Robertson County. I want to appreciate all the commissioners and the County Commissioner, County Executive Vogel, have had the opportunity to have some conversations, and this is a great community. We always say TCAT Nashville, but I've got to put an asterisk on that. I live in White House, folks, so I understand the rural communities and what technical education means. And our goal, everything that we do, graduation's a great night. Jobs is our biggest driver of what we do every single day. How do we get individuals the skill sets for those wonderful jobs that such a place like Electrolux has, keep these individuals local, have them purchase homes and grow their families here. And so from a TCAT standpoint, we're excited to be part of the community. We appreciate Representative Kumar and all the work that he's doing. We look forward to see what happens in the state legislature. Not a done deal, but we've got some great individuals and great minds working towards this. And from our perspective, we want to plant a flag in Robertson County. And I don't know if we have anyone from the school system here, but I've got to brag on the school system a little bit. I work with a lot of different counties. I've worked across the state of Tennessee. Robertson County, you've got a gym. We've got currently 50 welding students, dual enrollment at the high school every single day learning that trade. Your CT director, Mark Gregory, I don't know if I've worked with a better man in the state and not a better CTE director. And so I get excited anytime I get to hang out with anyone from Robertson County. I always say, I'm your people. I love working in this community. I'm excited to see what we can do in the future. So again, I appreciate all the support here. I appreciate Representative Kumar and everything he's doing to make this happen, and really look forward to what we have going on. If you ever get bored, Bubba with 2 Bs, 3 Bs. I was just seeing if you're paying attention. Swing on over to the campus we have now. We'd love to show you what we've got. We've got some pretty neat things going on in a small building here in Springfield. So again, appreciate everyone's time, and thank you very much, Representative Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank both of you for what you're doing. If you haven't been to that building, you need to go. I mean, there's machines in there that look like something NASA would have. These kids are going to learn how to do AVAC, hydraulics, whatever they want to do, get right out of high school and get a real good paying job. I mean, it's very impressive. And I appreciate the work you're doing for us, Nathan. He says it's not quite a done deal, but he looks awful confident to me. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Mayor, is there
Yes.
anything that we can do to support that? Any kind of letter, any kind of resolution to send to them? And when should it be done?
Him and Jordan have been in my office, and I've told him anything he needs from us, that we'd be glad to do it, because I'm gonna tell you, the businesses around here are very excited about it. They're getting qualified people right out of school. That's what they want. It's not like it was when I was a kid and you just learn how to weld and that's it at high school. That's all you had. This is really important stuff. Yeah, neat stuff. Thank y'all. Okay, next I got, Mr. Roman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, do we have existing property that'll be suitable to use for this project? Or are we looking at acquiring?
I think, I'm not speaking for Nathan, but I think they do have a site they pretty well put their thumb on. Yeah. I'm speaking out of turn. Mr. Garrett?
You're allowed to speak out of turn. You're the captain.
I don't think you'd be planning on getting that money for good. Got 2 sites?
I think with all the work that we've done with Representative Kumar and others in Springfield, we've got a couple ideas on,
Yeah.
we've got 2 different sites we're looking at.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Good question. Good question. Okay, in my communications, I got Mazetta Miller from Willow Oak. Ma'am, would you like to come up? She is executive director of Willow Oak. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
So I'm Uzetta Miller, Executive Director and founder of Willow Oak Center for Arts and Learning here in Springfield. And this is Reverend Mark Calvert Rosenberger, one of our board members, and Mayor Vogel, commissioners, and everyone, thank you for having us here. We just want to take a minute to make you aware of our 13th annual Art in the Park Festival that'll be held this coming Saturday, September 23rd from 10 to 4. We partner with the city of Springfield to have it at J. Travis Price Park. We offer 2 free festivals every year to the community. The first one is Art Fest in May, and then Art in the Park in September every year. We're expecting between 4,000 and 5,000 people. We'll have over 70 vendors selling paintings, photography, macrame, pottery, every kind of art form you can think of. We also have some authors selling their books. There'll be food trucks, there'll be blacksmithing and wool spinning demonstrations. There are free art activities and face painting, bright and colorful art installations. There's live music all day, and these musicians that we have perform internationally. One is Steve Daly, who is a graduate of East Robertson High School. He'll be performing for 3 hours that day. We're able to offer it free because of our sponsors. This year it's South Central Growers, United Community Bank, the Carrington Realtor, and the Tennessee Arts Commission. So we invite you to come out Saturday, bring your family and friends, and have a great fun day. So thank you very much.
Ms. Miller, I'm
Yes.
supposed to be on the radio in the morning. What time did you say Saturday?
10 to 4, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay, 10 to 4.
Travis Price Park.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. Glad to have you. Okay, I got the sheriff's office next. Sheriff, is something about the adult education program? It's in the communications.
I know about it.
You wanna wait till next month?
Talk about our GED.
Yeah.
She's supposed to give you all the details just so you get.
Well, all I got was you, all I got is the sheriff's gonna make a call. Come on up. You need some TV time.
I made it 13 years without getting up here.
Well,
13 years. Freak's dead. No, we were sharing with the mayor for his announcements today about one of the honors that we received. We have the HiSet GED program that we do in the jail, and we have the highest graduation rate in the state. I think it's over 45% with that program. It's been very successful, and as you know, well-educated people tend not to reoffend and be reincarcerated and cost taxpayers more money. So they get out of the system when they get more education. So we just wanted to share that with y'all today.
Thank you.
So, all right. Good accomplishment. Got great staff that works on that, works hard. Linda Royer, one of our corporals down there, manages our programs, and they've done an awesome job with this, educating inmates while they're here. So making use of their time. So
Well done.
thank y'all.
thank you. I knew I couldn't. 13 years, that's hard to be believed. Okay, this morning I had to sign a proclamation. This month is Constitution Week. Well, it's this week from September 17th to 23. The ladies from the DAR were there, and Mayor from Cross Plains Faulkner and Mayor from Cedar Hill was there with me, and we signed some proclamations. Those women really work hard, and they take a lot of pride in what they do for what the country's done and going back in history. Okay, I got a state approved letter that's in your package we've done our budget. State have approved our budget. That is in your package. And last but not least, Chad Gregory is going to give us an update on our 911 radio system that's being installed. That was a $7.4 million project that we used our, CARES Act money and stuff like that.
ARP funds.
ARP money, yeah. Instead of putting it on the taxpayers.
Good evening. So I'll give you a little update on where we are with the radio program, the radio project. You might have seen we've got some antennas that have been installed on the East Robertson Tower, as well as the tower at Hillcrest. We're involving 5 towers total. We got the tower at the dispatch center, Hillcrest and East Robertson are ours, and we've got some stuff that's going on the state towers in White House and in Adams on the state-owned towers. So we're approximately 55 to 60% complete with the project. Most everything up to now has all been kind of done behind the scenes. It's been architectural and engineering stuff, ordering product and all that stuff. So that stuff has been completed. So all the architecture and engineering work's done on all 5 towers. The LMR antennas, which stands for Land Mobile Radio antennas, that have been installed on East Robertson Tower and the Springfield site. All the subscriber units, which are the actual radios themselves, the portables and the mobiles that go in the vehicles and the fire apparatus, those have been ordered with an expected shipment date sometime in October. All the equipment for dispatch has been ordered and most of that has been received. It was just awaiting a final inventory to make sure everything is here before they schedule to start doing installation of that. They're projecting installation of that equipment to occur sometime probably late September, since we're already into late September, or October. So all the fixed network equipment, that is all the routers and all that stuff, because everything is IP based as far as communication back and forth and microwaves and all that. All of that has been ordered and received. They're awaiting a final inventory on that as well. Again, projecting installation to start late September and October on that as well. The microwave path, because the towers communicate with each other via a microwave dish. So some of those have one, some of them have two for redundancy, depending on how far from tower to tower they are. Those have been ordered and the studies have been complete. The equipment is ordered and it will be coming to staging that is at a facility in Georgia where they actually take all of this equipment, set it up in a big room, point it at each other, make sure everything works, everything gets mounted in the racks, the cables are made and tidied up and attached. And so everything comes here in a large equipment rack. The first rack of radio equipment has actually already been delivered to the Hillcrest site and is sitting there waiting to be installed. But it literally comes in on a U-Haul truck, shrink wrapped, just like you take an entire rack of computer servers and everything and just stand it up, and it's literally just plugging this stuff into this stuff into this stuff and goes from there. So once they finally get all of that equipment here on site, the actual installation and getting that stuff up and going is we're kind of to the point that the snowball kind of starts to roll down the hill pretty quick. So hopefully we're on that. So installations tentatively scheduled on that for December, January, depending on when we get, that's the last holdup that some of the supply chain issues are kind of dragging the feet on that of getting that in. We've got some things to talk about on ice shields, as far as the ice shields that can protect the microwave dishes. Those are in the quote. However, looking at the engineering on the towers, if we install the ice shields to protect the equipment, our towers are actually going to be over their engineered limits. Everything will be too heavy, wind loads and whatnot. TACN, the Tennessee Advanced Communication Network, that all of this works with for the state level, they elect to not put ice bridges on over theirs just to save weight on the towers, because the more weight you put on the towers with things like that is the less equipment you can actually put on the towers if you come back and need to add another antenna or something like that. So once you reach your 100% capacity, you've got to do tower remediation work and engineering to bring that to basically to beef the tower up. And those are going to start anywhere in the $50,000 to $75,000 per site range to bring an engine. You got to bring site and architectural engineers in to start figuring out what you can do and all of that. So we're looking at that. I got to talk with the mayor so we can make a 100% decision. I know what the decision is, but get them to bless writing the letter to Motorola that says we don't want to go with the ice shields so that we don't overload our towers, because we'll save $16,000 by not putting the ice shields on. But if we put the ice shields on to protect the equipment, it's going to cost us several $100,000 to make the towers more sturdy. So anyway, so that's where we are on that. And that is the basic update. We can get solid numbers on those. They estimate $50,000 to $75,000 for each tower. But in order to get a solid quote on that, we've got to employ engineers to start working on that and start spending money. So my suggestion on that is we just do what the state has done and put the equipment in there. And they're only going to be about 30 feet from the top, so it's not like they're going to have ice falling from 200 feet. So there's where we stand with that. We do a bi-weekly update call with the Motorola project manager and the local MCA Motorola reps, the local service company, and as well as some other folks with the county that jump on board with that as to where we are. So we have an update call every 2 weeks on Monday to figure out, to see where we are. So those are the updates as of the call this morning, and they gave me some more information after that call. So that is the absolute most up-to-date information we got.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Ken, I got
Are you
quick
gonna have a
question.
good signal down in Smiley Hollow?
They're projecting that we will, so
I
we'll see.
was told this morning that they don't have a good signal down there.
Well, we don't right now because the towers are not up and running. We're adding tower sites to what we have. So once you can
I was told this morning they had to call the county out there, that they had to send 2 vehicles because they didn't have radios. The radios are not reaching down in Smiley Hollow.
We haven't moved to this system yet, so none of that equipment is up and running yet. We've done some testing with what the state assets, the state towers that are currently up, and then we're adding capacity and adding our local towers onto that. So all I can go off of is what the computer propagation studies are showing based on elevation. And I do know the final testing for the project to sign off on it being complete will be done in spring once all the leaves are back on the trees, to make sure that we get
Get a good.
we sign off on something that we're happy with leaves on the tree and not in the middle of the winter when we're shooting through sticks.
I know you people have thought of this. God forbid, what would happen if a tornado took out one of these towers?
The sites are set up to where they go into what is called site trunking mode. So instead of them being interconnected, each site will operate independently until we can reestablish the link. And then there is some redundancy in there that can be put in as well. We can also call for other sites. Once we have a site down, there are sites on wheels, we call them SALs, sites on wheels, that can come in and be stood up.
I dated that girl.
That we can call and come in and stand a site back up in the place of that if we need to. The state has several of those positioned throughout the state.
Anybody else? I
I have
want,
one question.
just go
We
ahead.
were talking about the ice shields.
Mhm.
And that is to keep the ice from falling or keep the ice from making doing something to the equipment on the.
Basically, it's fall protection over the top of it so that ice from the top of the tower doesn't hit it, impact it coming down. Most of these are installed at, let's see, did he tell me? The dishes are all within 30 feet of the top of the tower, so you would only have a limited amount of exposure
So
to
what is
that.
the cost if, let's just say ice took one out? What is the cost?
I do not know, depends on what it damages, but I do not know, I do not have that number off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I can find out.
Hey, I want to thank Chad for all the work he's done.
Really?
By far, he's probably smarter than anybody I know in the county when it comes to radios and stuff. He knows his stuff, and somebody had to take control of this after our EMA lady left. So I appreciate what he's doing. And I also appreciate the commission. I'm gonna commend you that we use some of our county money to get the cities on board to help them. Cause this is a project that included every city, whether it's even Springfield's they're gonna have a gas department using these towers with different pings. And Stating gave us some money for their state troopers because they're gonna be on that same towers where everybody can be together. Chad, I appreciate what you're doing on this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Side note, don't forget Fair Week's this
Hey,
week.
wait a minute. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, tell them about the fair. Chad's with the fair board.
Fair kicks off tomorrow, parade 5 o'clock, starts at, just like it always has. We come down Memorial, starting at 10th Avenue, ending at the fairgrounds. We've got all kinds of events going on. Make sure if you come, make sure you go through what we call the red brick building, the main exhibit hall. That is truly what is a fair. That's the agriculture exhibits and so all of the kids stuff and your adults. So there's to see what their blue ribbons activities are. So that and the farm exhibits, the cattle shows. We've got dairy show Tuesday night, beef show Wednesday night. We're off in the barn on Thursday to reset for small animals. Friday night is a sheep show. Saturday is the goat show. So we got all kinds of things. Those are what make a fair. Otherwise, it's just a carnival out back. So we have a carnival along with our fair, but those items actually are truly what make it an agriculture fair. And that's what we're charged with by the State Department of Agriculture to put on. So we've got all kinds of exhibits and activities. We've got bands playing on the stage. We got Faith Night on Wednesday down at the stage. We've got two bands playing each night. We've got acoustic stuff up by the concession stand and bands playing down at the stage each night. Tuesday night is barrel racing in the arena. Wednesday night is dirt track go-karts. Thursday night, we got a new event called the Jump and Run Race. It's kind of a side-by-side serpentine with front-wheel drive cars in kind of an obstacle course type deal. So there'll be some bumping and grinding going on probably. Friday night's monster trucks. Bring the kids out for that. And Saturday night we end with a demolition derby. So just a week packed full of events. We got all kinds of kids events on Saturday morning before we even open the gates for admission. Pet show, 4-H chicken show, pedal pull. We've got a barnyard baby show for boys and girls. So we got all of that is before we ever open the gates at 3 o'clock. So that's all free admission. So come on down. If you need any information, get with me or robertsoncountyfair.com. It's all in.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We do no falls here when we have the fair. Okay, Commissioner, we'll move on to our reports. Start with the highway report. Any questions or comments? Animal control, any questions or comments? Trustee report, any questions or comments? Veteran services, any questions or comments? Planning, any questions or comments? EMA report, any questions or comments? Solid waste, any questions or comments? EMS, any questions or comments? And last, finance, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to file the reports. Got a motion by Roberts, a second by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone want to say no? So moved, the reports are filed. At this time, we have our election and appointments. The chair recognizes Commissioner Stubblefield of the nomination committee.
Tonight, we will nominate and elect a chair for the county commission. And so the floor is now open for nominations for a chair. Stacey.
No, Steve Ready. Steiner.
I move that we make Mayor Vogel the chairman of our commission.
Second.
Do we have
Anyone
any
else?
other nominations?
Motion to cease nominations.
We have a motion to
Second.
cease nominations with a second. So we will vote at this time. Just a voice vote. Okay, all in favor of Mayor Vogel, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations,
Well,
Mr. Vogel.
thank you, thank you. I don't know what to say.
You're excited, I can tell.
I don't know what to say. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Okay, I'll take it over now. We got to elect a chair pro tem. I need a motion and not for a nomination. Commissioner Moore,
Commissioner Stubblefield.
I got a motion for Commissioner Stubblefield. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second all around the board. I'm gonna say Bubba raised up his hand since they served together. Thank you, Mr. Darst.
Move nomination ceases with the.
Commissioner Hogan, got the nomination cease.
Second.
Got a second, Commissioner Rommel. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. Thank you, Commissioner Stubblefield. I'm gonna miss a night now. All right, look here, gang, we got some housekeeping to do. By the law, July 1st, coming from the state, we have got to start having more people speaking when we do our resolutions, not only zoning, but now resolutions. If you'll notice tonight, Madam Clerk had a legal pad down there with the agenda if anybody wanted to speak. Now, she has laid at each station our old set of rules. Now, we're gonna have a little discussion here where you wanna modify it, or the time limit, look at it, and I'll entertain somebody to make a recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, would it maybe be appropriate to have a committee appointed to come up with a recommendation and come back at the next meeting on what might be appropriate?
Well, I don't know what we're gonna do about tonight. Yeah,
We've already offered it, so.
yeah, we've offered it. Anybody sign?
No, sir.
Oh, we didn't have anybody sign tonight? Well, if that's what the commission feels.
Committee would do it.
We've done the legislative in the past, Mayor.
Legislative, I guess. I can call a meeting next week if there's an opening. Mr. Roberts?
What are we wanting, what is our accomplishment here as a time?
Well, we got to decide on the time, how many speakers. If you want to do 3 minutes a person, if it's over 10, you might want to knock it down to 2, cause a time limit. Because there's some meetings, if everybody wants to speak on every issue, we could be here, kind of keep it civil. Charlie, that was representing CTAS last week, told us that they had 20 speakers, and they're all on your sheet. It says if you're against something, that maybe they would elect somebody to be the speaker. We would know that there was 20 people there, because I'd have them stand up and recognize that there was 20 people that was against it or for something. Because we're gonna have to, like, we get into our new resolutions tonight, we got 8 or 9. I've got to ask if there's anybody in the public wants to speak on any issue. Other than, just like zoning.
And Mr. Mayor, and where on the agenda it occurs, I attended the school board meeting when they went through this and they had some draft documents. And in that case, they decided to put it early in the agenda because it could therefore maybe not be after things had already been decided. So there was some preparatory work by the school board on this issue that might be used as a
Yeah,
draft.
I think some people might want to speak, but then they find out they're not really, it's not really what they're concerned with, or the problem done been solved.
Mr. Mayor, this applies to our committee meetings as well, does it not? Not just to the county commission?
Yes, sir. The chairman recognizes people. Yeah. You're gonna have people say they didn't know when the committee was, but, all this is on our website. Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Chairman, since we're having so much discussion about this, I believe we need to move this to the legislative committee and let them take a look at all the possibilities that's been brought up tonight.
I'll tell Leanne in the morning, schedule a legislative committee. Right off the top of my head, I can't remember who's on that. You on it, Bobby?
Chairman.
Yeah, I think Mr. Rummel's on it. But Terrence, you say you was on it? Yeah, okay, Megan Suttle's on it, so. Yeah, hey, we'll do that tomorrow and I'll have to send it out. All right? We'll be good tonight since nobody signed it. All right, moving from there, I'm gonna have to make a note of that. And then the committee will bring back to the county commission next month their recommendation, okay? All right, so we move now to our public hearing. The chair recognizes zoning development cohort, Trey Fan. This is time we do open a public hearing. He will tell us the zoning issue, and I'll ask if there's any public comment. Go ahead, Trey.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Vogel, County Commissioners, and honored guests. I'm here on behalf of, or instead of Hunter Mantooth tonight. She's committed to the fair, had a prior commitment. We have 3 items of rezoning business for you. These were all recommended for approval at the August Planning Commission meeting. The first one that you have is rezoning request going from Ag 2 to RP 80. And that's resolution number 091-823-097. Gerald and Martha Steele on behalf of Wesley Steele. Request to rezone 2.27 acres to 6.8 acres from Ag 2 to RP 80 located on Menace Road, tax map 044, part of parcel 060.00 in the 7th voting district. And this was recommended for approval by a vote of 8-0 at Planning Commission.
Okay, is anyone here to speak on this zoning issue in District 7? I mean, you can live anywhere in the county if you want to speak on it, but it's in that district. Seeing none? Trey? We'll move on to the next object.
Okay, item number 2 is a rezoning request going from Ag 2 to R40. That's resolution number 091-823-098. Shelby Sanders on behalf of Stephen and Sherry Craig. Request to rezone 2.00 acres of the 21.13 acres from Ag 2 to R40 located on Woodrow Wilson Road, tax map 072, part of parcel 080 in the 8th voting district. And this was also recommended for approval by a vote of 8-0 by Planning Commission.
Okay, is anyone here like to speak on that resolution? Okay, Trey.
The last one we have is a rezoning request going from Ag 2 to C1. It's Commercial 1. Resolution number 091-823-099. Michael Crawley. Request to rezone 18.44 acres from Ag 2 to C1, located on Tom Austin Highway, tax map 113, parcel 021.00 in the 10th voting district. And this, like the other two, was recommended for approval by a vote of 8-0 at Planning Commission.
Okay, is anyone here like to speak on that resolution? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the county commission. Commissioners, we'll start I hope you guys look at these packets that come in from zoning. I think they're pretty neat. It'll tell you about everything on every issue there. Whatever can be put on C1 or whatever. So we'll start with Gerald Martha Steele, voting District 7, going from Ag 2 to RP 80. I need a motion. Got a motion by Commissioner Couch, second. Got a second by Commissioner Roberts. If you're for this zoning resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got 24, 0 against. I declare that resolution passes. Okay, we'll move on to item B. Shelby Sanders, Ag 2 to R40, voting District 7 again. I need a motion. I got a motion from Commissioner Doris. Need a second. Second by Commissioner Stacy Moore. Any questions? Question being called. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Got 24, 0 against. That resolution passes. We'll move to item C. We're going from Ag 2 to C1 for Michael Crawley, voting District 10. I need a motion to approve.
Oh, I got a question.
You got, okay.
Can I ask?
Let me get a motion in a second, then we'll go for the question. I need a motion first. Motion by Commissioner Doris. Need a second. Got a second by Commissioner Roberts. Okay, the chair recognizes Commissioner Moore for a question.
I don't know if he's here, but it said office. That's what he wants to do with the space, do you know?
That's just what's on the application. There would be many uses that could go there under C1. That was what was on the application. But
Because he's putting a drive-in theater on down, so I was just curious as to what he's putting on.
we have not been told specifically, to my knowledge. It is contiguous with, it's in that extension of Douglas Market, the landscaping place. It's right immediately adjacent to Dollar Store.
Is he on that side or he's on the same side of Dollar General?
Yeah, he butts up to it.
To it, yeah.
He's
Just north of Dollar Store, same side.
But we don't have any idea what's going in there.
It's in your application. I think
I know, I saw that.
I think it, what did it say, office?
Just that office. But he's also got
There's quite a few things that can go in that.
crumble cookie and everything. I'd like to know if crumble cookie's coming. See here.
I don't know who Crumble Cookies is.
I think he's back there.
Anybody else got a question?
I'll call him.
Question.
I got the question called for.
They got a cookie.
For this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
The roast cookies.
Crumble Cookie. I got 24 and 0 against. I declare that resolution passes. Thank you, Trey. You want a couple minutes to address the commission?
Yes, I'll be very brief. We were here 2 or 3 months ago and told you some things we had going on. We will be back next month. Some of my staff will be back with 2 items. One is to increase building permit fees, inspection fees, and planning and zoning fees. Best we can tell, they haven't been updated or increased since 2008. So they're way too low. And we did a good bit of research on that for surrounding communities, and we think we're in line with that. We've already sent a draft to the mayor to be looking at. So we'll be back on that, and then we've got to get in compliance with the state fire marshal's office. So our building inspectors will be here to recommend we go from the 2018 IRC International Residential Code to the 2018 code. So just be aware of those for next month.
Yeah, we haven't done anything with those permits, and like Dr. Kumar said, these people coming out of the school, they're gonna build a swimming pool. Well, our pool permit wasn't but $50. That swimming pool's around $100,000 now. So surely they could give us a little more than $50 for a permit. Something we gotta do to pay for the labor in the office on inspections and stuff, because we're really just probably breaking even on inspections. We're not even doing that. It's a long time coming. I appreciate Trey and him doing that. All right, we'll move to our new resolutions. The chair recognizes Bobby Couch, chairman of the Budget Committee.
Madam Clerk, Mr. Mayor, fellow commissioners, honored guests, I'd like to present to you Resolution 091-823-100. This is a resolution for a state grant for the emergency management for $25,774.
Okay, I got a second by Commissioner Doris, Billy Ray Doris. Any questions for Bobby Couch?
Question?
Question being called. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. At 24, 0 against, that resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
Resolution 091-823-101. This is a resolution moving $70,000 from 799 for the convenience center to purchase a pickup truck to replace a wrecked truck that was wrecked. This was needed for a long time before we got wrecked.
Yeah, that truck was wrecked, looking for a place to happen, but he did get rear-ended.
He did get totaled when I hit him, but that was coming. We needed it anyway. So this is money that we put back every year in the budget for capital outlay.
Question.
All right, I got a second. Commissioner Stroud seconded. If your question being called, if you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Pull the trigger pretty fast. I got 24 and 0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
This is resolution 091-823-102. This is a resolution giving $38,500 to the local fire departments for hydrant fees. This is money that, if you put a home on something less than 5 acres, you have to pay a hydrant fee. And this is money that's going to these, appropriate fire departments, depending on where the money was collected.
I don't know where the fees was paid in what fire district. It's probably be used, if there's not a fire hydrant, it gives them money to buy stuff to help move water around. I got Commissioner Rummel wants to speak.
Are the fees that we're charging for this, are they comparable what it would cost for a fire hydrant, or do we need to look at adjusting those at some point?
They're not comparable.
No.
Fire hydrant about $8,000 now.
Yeah. I think they're, what, $3,500 a lot now or something like that.
I'm charging $35. I think it's like $8,000 to put it in. I know-
But here's the other fact, a lot, I don't know most, but a great number of these will never get a fire hydrant because they don't have the water capacity to build them. So this money's going, and I don't know what that figure is. We'd have to do some research, but there's a large chunk of money sitting there waiting in case they ever get capacity. This is just money.
Usually the developer will pay for the fire hydrant pretty well all the time. If he's gonna track it up, then he's expected to pay for the fire hydrant. Only places I know where a developer hadn't paid for it, it was tracked up, went through zoning, and nobody never did develop it. Yeah, but the money's there. When I was with the Adams City Water System, we had it's the first thing's gotta be on 6-inch line. But there was a farm tracked up, nobody never did nothing with it. But we found out there was a 6-inch line on one side of the property, and we was able to get that money at that time. It's about $5,500 to get a fire hydrant put in.
So I think that's a plan and zoning question.
It's a plan and zoning
What we need to
question.
go for them.
It is expected by the developer to pay that if he tracks it up. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Question.
Question being called. I got a second by Commissioner Sutter. Question being called. If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. I got 24, 0 against. That resolution passes. Thank you. Okay, Commissioner Couch.
This is resolution 091-823-103. This is litter grant money from the state. We get this every year. That is increased for the 2024 budget year by $15,345.
I got a second by Commissioner Brinkley. Question's being called by Commissioner Doris. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Got 24, 0 against. That resolution passes. Commissioner Couch.
This is resolution 091-823-104. This is a law enforcement grant for $169,814. It's a budget amendment for the sheriff's department for a violent crime grant.
Okay. Got a second by Commissioner Suttle. Any questions?
Question.
Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. Against it, vote no. 24 and 0 against, that resolution passes. Commissioner Caps, one more time.
Yes, sir. This is resolution 091-823-105. This is an outlay of $16,755, unless I'm mistaken. This is for security cameras for the animal control building.
Be sure them dogs don't escape.
Well, yeah, we talked about it a lot, and that was one of the.
I got a second by Commissioner Martin.
Apparently, we have sometimes people who feel it's funny to go and mess with animals, and sometimes you have dangerous animals.
It's got to be done.
And, you know, it's something we need to do, and we need to do it right. And this system, I'll speak for you, IT, Chet, but this works with the system we have, and you can access it remotely, and you can see what's going on.
Yes, sir.
He can see what's going on from his office.
Right.
During the day or whatever.
So it's compatible with what we already have. It's the reason we went with
Like a
it.
camera in my office. Commissioner Roman, you want to speak?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to commend Chet and our IT office for working good on this one to save, I think it saved the county about $4,000 by using some equipment that they were able to reuse that would have cost a lot more had he not been so good about reusing existing equipment.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr.
Commissioner Roman.
Chairman, does that mean that Chet is now be called watchdog?
He's Timex.
I'm sorry about you.
If you're for that resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no.
I will point out one thing. What struck me, and I'm guilty, we're worried about our money, but all this money, thank you, Dr. Kumar, for the funds, but this money we get was our money to start with. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Got 24 and 0 against. I declare resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner Cowles. This time I'll call up Commissioner DeLong, Chairman of the Law Enforcement Committee.
Madam Clerk, Mr. Mayor, fellow commissioners, audience. This is resolution number 091823106, resolution to declare surplus property for the sheriff department. Second.
All right, got a second by Commissioner Stubblefield.
Question.
Question been called. If you're for this resolution about surplus property, vote yes. Against it, vote no. I got 24, none against. That resolution passes. Thank you, Commissioner DeLong. Okay, now we'll recognize Commissioner Haley from surplus property from schools, the chairman of the Education Committee.
Mayor, fellow commissioners, taxpayers of Robertson County, I present to you resolution 091823107, surplus property coming from the school board. Got computers, monitors, printers, just about anything you want.
Okay, I got a second by a member of the Education Committee, Martin.
Question, sir.
Question being called. If you're for this resolution, vote yes. If you're against it, vote no. Got 24, 0 against. That resolution passes. Okay, is any old business bring from the commission? Seeing none, is any new business? Chair recognizes Mr. Jeremiah Pierce.
Thank you, Mayor and Madam Clerk, distinguished guests and fellow commissioners. I wanted to speak briefly on a couple of topics regarding the future planning and zoning of Robertson County. I was appointed to Planning and Zoning and as the only commissioner on the board, and I also serve on Joint Economic Development, Commissioner Hogan, Commissioner Stubblefield. As a builder and developer myself, I felt it'd be prudent to bring before you all a few items I have noticed in hopes that we as a commission could start a conversation, possibly make some progress on some of these topics. A little backdrop regarding growth. We all know Middle Tennessee is growing, but a few quick stats that were released in July 2023. The national MSA saw a 10.4% growth rate over the last 3 years. That puts Nashville number 4 of the 52 large metros, just behind Austin, Dallas, and Raleigh. According to 24/7 Wall Street, the population of MSA is projected to grow from just over 2 million in 2022 to almost 3.2 million in 2060. This 56.1 projected population growth in the metro area is the 31st highest of all 384 U.S. metro areas. It's clearly evident that Robertson County will see large growth in the coming years when factoring in proximity to downtown as well as interstate access. Last year, the Robertson County Economic Development, in tandem with SME, conducted a public engagement study. This vision study was presented to us at a commission meeting and was a quite in-depth look. As a refresher, some of the stakeholder feedback included three major areas. Basically, a need for an updated growth boundary map. They felt the current one's out of date. A need to build updates, accountabilities, and checkpoints into the plan. And finally, a concern that the plan does not have any legislative teeth, as the county never adopted new zoning regulations in line with the growth plan's vision. The top three concerns of this study from the public were infrastructure, concerns about loss of rural character, impact of development on the natural environment, and the final recommendations, as you can guess, were to update the growth plan and update the zoning to reflect the growth plan's vision. There are current grants through the 3-Star program of the Tennessee Economic and Community Development Office, and they've spoken at the Joint Economic Development Board. The goal of the program was to assist basically communities like us in planning initiatives. They're a great source for education, but funding. Vonda actually is currently looking into a grant that would pay to update our maps in regards of utilities, and based on with my conversation with her, she feels confident that we're going to be able to get this. This type of map's vital when looking into future growth and development. I want to commend the mayor for getting the Joint Economic Development Board together. I believe the interaction and attendance by even all the city mayors has been extremely positive. There does appear to be some desire for more harmony between the cities and the county based on talks within those meetings, what I can see. But proper planning does require a blueprint. We do not build homes without a set of plans, and if you do, things can go south quickly. An update to the growth plan is that blueprint that we do need. With a proper blueprint, we can anticipate items from water pipe sizing and electric needs to how we look at applications for zoning change requests and development. We do not want to approve a subdivision to go into an area we have deemed a proper expansion for industrial zoning. We do not have a blueprint for Robertson County moving forward into the future. Growth plans, maps, and zoning are extremely outdated. We also do not have a full-time planner in Robertson County. I understand that funding is a concern for this position, but I do believe it is neglectful to not have a full-time planner with proven experience for the county. We did contract with GNRC over the past year, and I think we can all agree that Amanda was amazing, but they were pulled in too many directions and we're not able to allocate the time needed, so we did not renew that contract with GNRC. Amanda was working on our zoning and subregs, primarily cleaning up language prior to leaving. And the planning department did engage a consultant recently, but due to outside circumstances, that consultant can no longer confirm a commitment. We're now getting requests for solar farms, and the size of these companies and farms continue to increase. Every planning meeting, we're getting other zoning change requests for buildings and still requests for subdivision developments. Mayor spoke about the amount of farmland that we continue to lose, and I fear that if we do not act, the county will become even more hodgepodge than it's already becoming. My concern with the zoning change requests and development requests is that we as a body have not addressed this desperate need to adopt a growth plan and update our zoning and subregs to match that plan. I hate to stand by and watch improper planning destroy our county for all our kids and grandkids. To this end, I am reluctant moving forward to approve more zoning changes myself unless there are certain circumstances such as family needs or similar density in close proximity. I'm not asking any other members of this body to do the same, but I wanted to provide an explanation why I will be voting against some, if not all, zoning changes in the future until we get a growth plan adopted and our zoning to reflect. I believe it's detrimental to handle the proposed growth as well as preserving our beautiful lands. Economic development has confirmed this through the study they conducted, and the public has strong concerns that the growth plan would address. Finally, the topic of solar applications. While I believe strongly in individual property rights, I have spoken with citizens who believe our current solar regulations are lacking. I commend the prior planning and zoning board for at least having something on the books, but they appear to need revisiting. This includes no environmental impact studies, requirements for engineered site plans, bond settings, hard service parking. I've got a whole list here. I had discussed this with Amanda about solar applications triggering an overlay in which more strict standards we place prior to approval. Before she left, she had started drafting proposed solar regulations based mostly on what Bedford County had adopted. They put a lot of time and energy into their regulations, and I think they'd be really good for our county as well. The community was in high attendance at the recent BZA meeting where a solar farm was voted down. A BZA board member voted no, and one of the reasons given was that this commission was revisiting our solar regulations, and until we as a body had done that, they were not going to approve the application. At this point, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with these requests and the outreach from the community, but I do feel like we need some time to get acquainted with this topic, explore concerns from the community, and adopt a new set of regulations. With no full-time county planner and a planning department that has several new people who are getting up to speed, I do propose that we place a moratorium on all solar applications. I live on the southern end of the county, which will probably not be impacted, but I've cut tobacco and hauled hay and deer hunted throughout the northern area. It's beautiful and it should be protected. I do encourage this body to form a committee to look at adopting a growth plan, engaging a full-time planner with experience. I don't have all the answers, but I believe a growth plan adopted and subregs to match is the right step. Any questions?
Any questions?
I got some comments,
Yes.
and he is correct. We need a full-time planner. But full-time planners like when I went to school and became a planner are few and far between. You're gonna have to give them a pretty good salary to get them here. That's one thing. Because when I went to Portland, the mayor told me, he said, Gina, he said, I can't find anybody like you anymore. He said, everybody is being specific. Like, he got a transportation planner who knew nothing about subdivision plats and everything like that to come in and be his full-time planner. He was on the learning curve, and that's why I was working there.
They are hard to find.
They are, because,
And,
well, a lot of the schools have closed down now, like Memphis is closed down, I think even UT Knoxville, and I think a school in Alabama that used to put out all kinds of planners have shut down. They don't have those schools anymore. So you're gonna have to look, and you're gonna have to entice someone to be here.
First thing, you're gonna have to pay the salary.
Yes, that's what I mean by enticement. I agree with Jeremiah about the growth plan. There's several things that need to be done because I've looked at the growth plan. I've been helping them a little bit when they need help. You can't just do the hodgepodge that we've been doing in the past. And you've got to have, and if you do an overlay for certain things, then that does put more specific requirements and regulations on whatever the development is. So I agree with Jeremiah completely.
Well, I agree with him too. We had fruit basket turnover in zoning.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you, I've had so many compliments about the way it's being run now, and we're going in that direction, but it won't be overnight.
No.
We're gonna have to get us a planner, but first we're gonna have to vote to pay the salary.
Exactly. But I mean, I think it's detrimental. I mean, I don't want our farmland to be cut up and hodgepodge. I want it to be deliberately looked at and deliberately different things put, different subdivisions or whatever put in the specific places they need to be.
Well, it's, Nashville, I remember when I was a kid, there was farms all over Nashville. Now they're zoning by the foot.
So how long of a moratorium would you suggest for a solar panel?
Well, I was going to make a motion on that if there wasn't any other questions before that. I was just saying on the growth plan, I would love to see a committee formed out of this commission. I don't know how or who or what or anything, but I do think a new growth plan needs to really be looked at. Obviously, having a planner would go a long way towards helping us with that. Or else we're just going to continue to have hodgepodge zoning requests and tracked up land that has no rhyme or reason. And before we know it, when we have a great development like this one coming in, we don't even have land to put it. Because we've just approved whatever.
And I would encourage, when you all look at the planning and zoning packet, look at those properties that are next to it and make sure that zoning is comparable to what the people are asking for before you decide to make whatever decision, whatever vote you're making on it. Because that's how you get all this hodgepodge going on.
Mr. Couch?
We had, and I don't know if we ever enacted or not, but we had some regs, I thought a fairly extensive study on solar farms before. I'd like to know what happened to it, but we had it. There was a study and they brought it back. I don't think we ever passed it, but it had setbacks. It did have money put back for reclamation. It had environmental studies. All that was in there. It had a bond that they had to put in. It had to be updated every so many years. So when those solar farms became extinct because of the solar panels were bad, I think they had a 15 to 20 year shelf life. All that land could be reclaimed. All that was in there. I don't know what happened to that proposal, but it was there.
We approved that. We adopted that.
We adopted that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But the company that came last time, I don't think they ever explained if something was to go wrong, who's gonna dig the panels up?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was, I know we had that, but I don't know where that's at.
Like I said, some of the stuff I saw was like hard surface parking and road access. Some of the setbacks were a little loose. Public utility eminent domain, safety regulations in compliance with the Uniform Fire Code. There was some other things that I was hearing from the citizenry. And then what I did is Amanda sent over a document, which I can send to everybody, is great, but it's basically Bedford County's solar regulations, and they spent a lot of time. And so I just don't want us to end up in a lawsuit when he comes in.
I think Bob Hogue done all that before he left.
I'm on your side. I think it should be, it's gotta be, you have to have it funded.
Yeah.
You have to fund it up front to reclaim it before you start. But we had that. I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm like you, I thought we passed it.
Wasn't one of the things they were talking about on the solar panels was the disposal level?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
nowhere as far as disposing of it.
To dispose of it.
Yeah, I think all that's, Bob Hogue done that. He studied other counties, and I didn't agree with all that we did. I thought the buffer zone ought to have been a little more better and stuff like that, but we did adopt a plan.
Yeah.
There is a plan in place. It's just a little.
So it needs to be tweaked.
It seems like it just, it needs to be
overhauled. It really
it needs a complete overhaul. And I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I was going to make a motion that we have Clyde draft a moratorium on all solar applications for a period of at least 12 months until we have time to revisit this and look at it and come up with a new set of plans. We've got more and more companies coming, and so I'd like it to be voted on at the next commission meeting if possible.
That needs to come through zoning, from the zoning board. I'd make a recommendation. The zoning board needs to make a recommendation.
We could, I mean, yeah, I don't know why we couldn't make it. Could we make it not make it?
I mean, the zoning board.
The motion would work.
Needs to make a recommendation that they need to put moratorium on the solar farms for at least 12 months until we get, maybe tweak it. That needs to vote on that.
Won't it have to come to us anyways?
Yeah.
What did
Has to
we
come here.
Can we just send a recommendation to the planning and zoning?
I think we ought to go through the proper stages.
Turn them to an
Okay.
That's what we got a zoning board for.
county.
I know, but I said, could we not make a recommendation?
Yeah, we can make a recommendation. Y'all want to make a recommendation?
I'd have to go.
All right, somebody make a motion. Got a motion by Roberts and a second by Couch.
I think Commissioner Pierce
Maybe
made a
Pierce
motion.
has made it.
All right, you made a recommendation.
He's on plan, he's on.
I'll read it
All
again.
right, I got a second by Roberts.
Read it.
Just have a question.
Yeah.
Ask it.
That's good.
Now we discuss. Go ahead.
So, what I'm hearing is you're focused on solar farms?
No, I mean, that's just ideally would be the growth plan. That's the blueprint. Solar farms fall underneath that. The growth plan will be number one. I would love to see us form a committee or whatever we got to do to get a growth plan adopted. I think a planner would go a long way in helping us with that. Then we zone to that, and these solar farms are just part and parcel of that overall growth plan. What we suggested before Amanda left is that if you submit a solar application, it would trigger what's known as an overlay. Within that overlay are a larger set of criteria. So you got AG zoning where they come in, they submit this, and there's an overlay with other specific things that go on that.
Because I know one was going, a solar farm was going at exit 8 and they pulled out. So I was just curious. Why we're focusing on.
I'm focusing on it because of the attendance in here at the PCA meeting just a few weeks ago. I mean, this room was packed and there's a lot of there's a lot of public outcry, and I've had citizens reach out to me as being the only board member or commissioner on planning and zoning. So I was like, I'll at least bring it before the commission. If they say no, they say no. But I mean.
So are they for, are you finding them for them or against them? Against them.
They're against it. 90% of the people, I don't care what you write up, they're still not.
What I just don't want to see is us not have proper regulations or rules in place, and then we vote no against something just because we just don't like it. And we can't go to the judge and say, hey, we turned this down based on section 3A7, whatever, and just saying no, and then we get in a lawsuit, and it's just a waste of taxpayer money.
And basically, he just wants a moratorium on the solar farms, right?
Mr. Roberts?
Yeah, because we adopted.
Just until we can revisit it, that's how long it'll take.
What I'm hearing is Jeremiah's biggest concern is a growth plan.
100%, Eric, yeah.
We're going to have a plan.
What you're saying, in order to get a growth plan, we need a planner. But let me finish. We can't afford a planner right now as far as way our budget is. So if we wanted to pursue this and have a planner, could we get somebody like the girl was in here? Is there a way we can pay somebody to?
Reason she's not here anymore because they ain't got any planners either.
She had 12 counties.
Right. DNRC doesn't have enough planners either. They're hard to find, and you're going, I mean, what was paying Bob Hogue, you're going to double it.
So I mean, we can't do a study, do a growth plan without a planner, right?
I think that economic development's put a lot of time and effort into that recent vision study. I think that right now, the current growth plan that they put out seems pretty feasible. It was based on feedback from stakeholders and the public. We just need to then rewrite our zoning and subregs to match that.
So we don't really need a planner then.
I just said it would help. I mean, I know they might be hard to find, but I do believe being a county that touches Davidson and not having a planner is about, I think it's like not having an EMS chief or a sheriff. I mean.
Jeremiah hit on it. When we done the growth plan, we went to all these cities and every city had a different idea of a growth plan.
Right.
I mean, some of them want rooftops and there'll be 3 or 4 says, no, we don't want rooftops. They don't want growth. So, you're we come up with a growth plan, it's going to be for the county.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to quit listening what the cities want because it's just, you're not going to make everybody happy. We got 10 cities and they all got a different idea of what growth is.
But if we want to do a growth plan, we need to do it without having a planner because right now we don't have one if we want to.
Correct. Yeah, we don't have one, but I do think between the chamber and economic development, I mean, that's what we're looking at. Where's our future of our industries and things? I mean, I think that we've got a pretty good team in place to possibly come up with something. And then, they did try to hire a consultant and I guess they had a family emergency, but it was right.
His mother died and now his father is in the hospital.
Mr. Hogan?
I just in defense of Brother Bob Hogue, he took this ball as far as he could take it.
Yes.
And couldn't go any further. Money wasn't there. His ability, he did a great job with what he had to work with. And I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say anything
To this
against
commission.
it.
No, I commended the prior planning. It's absolutely.
Hey, we're just moving forward more.
Yeah.
Got to move forward.
Yeah, I just want to see us move forward.
Okay, Commissioner Moore.
Get the cities involved in this.
Man, Bill,
And I mean, I can give you a good answer. Look at White House. That's out of control as far as I'm concerned.
I just feel like, and maybe Commissioner Hogan and Stubblefield and Mayor speak to, I feel like the mayors are pretty good at the joint economic meeting. I mean, I feel like
we've had good discussions.
Yeah.
When we did our growth plan back
2 years ago.
15 years ago, no, the original one.
First one,
The first one
2008.
we went to every city and had a meeting with the citizens to find out what they wanted. And I think that worked really well.
But all cities didn't participate.
No.
That was the problem.
We went to Cross Plains, White House, Springfield, and
Adams.
And Adams.
Adams.
Yeah, but the other cities, but if we could, gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Commissioner Stroud wants to speak.
So we adopted the 2040 growth plan in 2014 or 15, something like that.
Hey, I was mayor.
No.
Well, when we done that growth study, I was mayor.
That was just a couple of years ago, and that's what I was gonna say. Then we followed it up with the Economic Development Board, went around to all the communities, and we had the deal out at the new college deal. And we had public input out there, and my understanding was they were taking the results of that and updating our growth plan.
Yeah.
And so, and I was my understanding of that was that was a done deal. We took the results of the Economic Development Board's study, and our growth plan is being updated according to that. Is that not correct?
No.
And I never heard anything else.
County never adopted it. They presented it to the Economic Development Board. That was all the mayors and everybody.
Well, I think Margot even came and presented the findings of that.
Yeah.
Us, after it was all kind of put together, but.
Never had any.
But the findings was kind of like I said.
And the zoning doesn't
It
even,
didn't change anything, I don't think, much.
No, it didn't change anything.
But your zoning is still out of whack. with
Right.
what that growth
Yeah.
plan is. That's the biggest thing.
All right, anybody else?
Commissioner Pierce is, you gonna read your motion or?
Yeah,
I'll read.
I'm still asking for questions. Anybody else?
Question.
All right, he wants a motion to,
We need a motion second.
ask,
Clyde to place a moratorium on all solar applications for at least a period of 12 months until such time as this commission can revisit the solar regulations.
need a second. Second by Roberts. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So moved. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, no.
Those city planners aren't that expensive.
Okay. Any other new business?
Well, ain't that expensive.
Yes, ma'am, they are.
If not, Commissioner Hogan will do our notaries.
Right now, just in Utah,
We should become a notary?
it should be a lot more than this.
All of
91 to 100.
Notary for the county of Robertson. Great state of Tennessee.
Okay, I got a motion by Hogan and a second by Commissioner Billy Ray Dawes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So moved. Commissioner Dawes, Bubba, you want to make the next one? All in favor, say aye. So moved.
Right there.